Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of our podcast that is yet to be named. I'm Devin Blackburn, and I have one of my best friends here, Matt Inouye. And I'm really excited to finally be doing this. I've been wanting to finally get myself back in front of the camera. It's been way too long, and I kind of had this concept that actually we both came up, with the idea of finally getting in front of the camera and just getting a podcast kind of vibe going, and I'm really excited to have you here.
Me too. Hi everyone, Matt, he, him pronouns.
We were kind of just putting a lot of ideas down and trying to figure out what we're going to talk about, and a lot of them kind of had to do with,
With boys.
Yes.
With men who are boys.
And I thought that, what would be a good idea to kind of call it the gay agenda. And I know it's been very difficult in today's day and age to be dating. And, I obviously can't speak for you, but it's been a fucking ride. And it's the fucking trenches out here. And I have just, I don't want to say like I've had, well, what was me? I've had such shitty luck. But it really is hard because in the gay community, we're already like such a small percentage of the general population as it is. So then when you take that amount, I don't know what it is, 13 to 18%, something to that. So it's already such like a small percentage as it is. And then you take that small amount and then it's, okay, how many of, gay men are single? How many are actually looking for relationships, or how many are already in a relationship that are looking for an open relationship? Which works for some people.
Lame for a lot of people, but for some people,
it's just, for me. It's been hard. So I just want to know what's your experience? Like,
high key, it's like a roller coaster. Honestly, at this point, I'm not dating. I came back from Europe and I was like, I don't think I want a boyfriend right now. But dating is really hard because once you get into a relationship, it's even harder, is what it felt like for me. But I think in general, the dating pool, everyone knows each other. Everyone knows everyone's business.
I don't know why that is. Why is it that no matter what walk of life or what city or what age, the gays all know each other? There's always one line of connection.
There's always the mutual following thing where it's like, okay, I'm dating this guy, going on first date, and then you get their Instagram and they have
seriously
some mutuals, and you have to question they probably fucked, maybe they didn't.
That's why when I do find somebody on Instagram and they have either one or two or zero mutuals, I'm like, oh, that's perfect, and they have 300 followers. They haven't posted in 3 years, and they have 200 followers. I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect.
You're a certain friend that I know.
Because otherwise, if they have 8,000 followers, 40 mutuals, and I'm like, oh god, they're a fucking whore, which not to slut shame anyone, but
let's not slut shame. Let's slut uplift.
Sometimes we're just at different places in life, and it's not that it's necessarily trying to slut shame anyone, and because I've definitely been there too. You just kind of sometimes get to a point where okay, I've kind of had it with the one night stands and just the friends with benefit kind of vibe, and you really do want to put yourself out there and find a more genuine connection, and that's more difficult to find because for me at least, what it seems like the majority of the gay community is just not on that same wavelength, and you kind of have to just either accept that, or you either accept it or you don't.
And if you don't accept it, power to you. I love a good solitude moment where you're just living your best life on your own. You don't need no bitch. You don't need anyone. Everyone has that. And I feel like that's when the relationships come to you. When you're working on yourself, you're in a good area. It might take some time, but I kind of stopped looking for a relationship for that reason.
Yeah. Well, they all say that too, and sometimes I'm just they say this, I'm just I want to freaking punch you in the face, but they're like, oh, it comes to you when you least expect it, love, really comes to you when you least expect it, and just, just stop looking, and just, I just, every time somebody says that to me, I'm just like, I want to like literally punch you in the face.
Punch me then.
No, I mean, I know it's true though. I mean, I do know that that's probably factual. You want to put yourself out there. We're on the apps. You're swiping. You're talking to people. You're making plans. You're going on dates. And I've been on more first dates than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go on a first date and then, you think it goes well, and then they want to hook up then.
People have different intentions for dating. Although they tell you something at first, their minds quickly change.
Yeah.
They might feel that way for a day, and then the moment you go on that first date, shit changes.
And then you're expected to then comply. You're expected to comply because I just went on a first date 2 weeks ago, and I know I told you the story already, but the energy wasn't great as I went into it. We went to a nice dinner. I felt like I was carrying the conversation for the most part, but I was really trying to I'm a conversationalist. I always try to be inclusive with who I'm talking to. And at the very end of the date, he was like, all right, well, do you want to come back to my house and make out? And I was like, no, not particularly, actually. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this fucking romance is just dead. It's dead. European men are just so much more romantic and just passionate than American men. You talk to a European man, they're, oh, good morning, my darling. The sun shines in the beam of your eye, and you bring such joy to my life, and I couldn't imagine my life without you in it, and I hope you have the most amazing day, my darling. And then American men are like, what's up? What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Have you ever spoke to a European man? They're like not even European, just literally any ethnicity other than American. Like, they're just so much more passionate and are classy.
Yeah.
Give a shit about who they're talking to.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's the problem, that I'm wasting my freaking time on American men.
When I went to Europe and I made boyfriends, they all treated me with such kindness, respect, but also treated me like a princess, which I love. And
I know Matt just came back from Europe, and you had 3 or 4 boyfriends while you were there, and the 3. I'm like, he's had more tail in the last 3 weeks than I've had, I think, in the last 3 years.
It was fun. I really enjoy just meeting new people. I love a good romance, and I definitely got a lot of that in Europe. There's a few people who I just kind of talked to and really connected with, and they made me feel really special.
Matt, he FaceTimed me literally day 2 or 3 that he was there, and I think you were in Barcelona.
I don't know.
And he called me and he was like, oh yeah, I just met this man in the park. I was asking for directions, and now all of a sudden they're on the fucking, we'll have to play some videos of this. But he was like, oh yeah, I just met this guy. We were in the park. I asked him for directions, and now they're out on a date. He found the love of his life just by asking which way the subway is. And I'm like, when can this happen to me? In America, it doesn't fucking happen.
Honestly, it was very fairy tale, and it was really magical. And the guy and I,
he was from Mexico, though. You're from LA. Mexico. He lives in Mexico, but you met in Spain.
Yeah. So this guy was traveling for a few months, and we met on his return. He was on a few-day layover, and I had just got to Spain, and the first day I met him, I was the first day I was traveling actually in Madrid. He had just got there too, so when I was asking for directions and asking for recommendations on a new park, I was like, you're traveling by yourself and wandering around for a few days. I am too. Do you want to do it together?
So how did that happen? So did you approached him in the park? Was he by himself?
Yeah, he was by himself. And when I got to the park, I had asked 2 people for recommendations on a park. He was the third. I just kind of went up to him. I didn't think anything of it. Promise. Swear. And when he started...
This is like a fairy tale.
When we started talking, we just started walking around the park, and he showed me his Instagram. I was like, follow me. there's like a rainbow on his Instagram, and I was like, okay.
So you didn't even know right away whether he was, or
didn't know. And so it worked out. Like, we literally wandered around for like 4 days or 3 days or something, and
I was like,
everyone was
so
gagged.
jelly.
Everyone was gagged.
Gagged.
Everyone was like, live your best life. I obviously like over, share my life with people, and I love it. I love it because it's so fun and playful, and yeah. But the guy was cute. Everyone was digging it. There were some spicy moments, and I was here for it.
I love that.
I was here for it.
What was the first indication? I mean, obviously, all you have to do is open your mouth and he's gay. That's.
He was not.
But I mean, what was the first? What was the first indication that maybe there was more spice to it than what meets the eye, or did you go into it with that?
The thing about me is if I'm trying to figure out I'll slightly flirt with you, and then
So what was your
from compliment to a little bit more flirtatious? And I'm like,
what did you say? Do you remember?
I don't remember. As soon as I saw that rainbow on his Instagram page.
Oh, well, that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah. So that was pretty quick into us meeting. So it's so yeah, I just started flirting to see what the vibe was between us. He flirted back, got a little touchier. One thing led to another, and things happened.
And then on to the next boyfriend. And then he moved, and then what? And then you were who left first? He went back to Mexico. You went to where?
It was so sad. So the last day I was in Madrid, I was going to take a train to Barcelona, and I literally started crying because I was so enamored by, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I legit
cried. I'm going to literally put Matt's TikTok that he posted of this guy right here.
I legit cried.
Seriously, it was so cute. I was like, stop. I
legit cried. It's so weird how me personally, I get emotionally attached with people super quick. I don't know if that's the toxic trait in me, but probably, right?
Well, I think the self-preservation part of me just is incapable of that.
Yeah.
So, you're very lucky that you haven't built your walls up to the fucking nuclear World War III Armageddon standard that mine have.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm capable of that at that point.
Well, I'm so capable. It happened 10 times in Europe.
I know. Well, good for you. I'm so happy for you because that could not be me right now. It's literally Fort Knox, worse than Fort Knox.
Yeah, but I'm such a romantic. I love flirting. I love when guys flirt with me, and overall, I'm good at what I do, if you know what I'm saying.
Period. Well, and you have the confidence too, and that says a lot about with anybody, whether it's friendship, relationship, job. It's if you have confidence, that's such a big. You put that energy out, and you expect that same energy back.
Yeah. I'm really happy with myself.
As you should.
As I fucking should.
As you should. Besides the European boyfriends you have, I know we've been both joking back and forth about our husband, who we're both just completely enamored with, Omar Apollo. And he, for those who don't know, I mean, he's he's becoming more mainstream now, but he's a singer, songwriter, artist, and just
total babe.
I'm in love. I'm in love with him. I'm in love with him, and we're going to go see him in San Diego in October. He just came out with a new album. God Said No.
God Said No.
And it's really good. It's really good. I'm really obsessed with a few songs, but
what's my favorite song? We were just
Done With You.
Yes.
It is really good. A lot of people don't really know him or his music because I knew of him 2 years ago when I went to Coachella. I knew he was performing. I never heard of him before that. I'd never heard of his music, had never seen anything about him, and I knew that he was on the set list of Coachella. And then fast forward, I heard people online on Twitter talking about him, and I don't know who it was or what it was, but I was like, oh, let me just look him up. And the first thing I was like, oh wait, like he's really hot. He's very attractive. He's an attractive man, but it wasn't until then I started digging in and listening, and he's super talented. He's super talented. He has a really good voice, singer-songwriter. I don't know, he goes very in depth with the songwriting. I don't know. You've been more into him from like
I saw him once. Was obsessed with his everything, just everything. I saw him where did I see him? In Vegas at Life is Beautiful festival. He came out with I think it was like a sequin. No, not sequin. It was just like a black, beautiful suit, but it was all shiny. It wasn't like sequined. It was just like almost like glitter. Oh, so awesome. And he was such a good performer. He played all of my favorite songs. This was before the album release. And oh my God, I was already in love with him, but I fell in love with him even more. But we're going to see him!
I'm very excited for that. He just has this kind of captivating energy about him. If you watch some of his performances and some of his videos and his music, he really just kind of has this intoxicating energy. I don't even know how to like describe it.
It's very dreamy. It's very goo goo gaga. For me at least. And I'm like, I love Sad Boy. I love he's a little fruity.
You know what's so funny? I literally, because me and Matt will send each other TikToks all the time of Omar, and I sent one to one of my best friends since high school, and I sent her this video. I was like, oh my God, stop! Like I'm like in love with him, blah 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 blah. And she just responded. She was like, I am such a lesbian. Like she was like, I just don't find this attractive, and like. I don't know. Are we just Delulu?
She's
like
gay, but another kind of gay.
I don't know. Like, maybe we're just fucking Delulu, or
for sure Delulu.
Because he really is.
Actually, not really. He's Latino.
Mm-hmm.
Gay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other thing too. He is gay, so it almost makes him like 1% attainable. No, literally, that like. It makes a difference. Like it makes it like somewhat real.
We're so gay. But honestly,
we're like little teenage girls. I'm like kicking my feet. I'm like, Omar Apollo. I'm dead. Come on, Matt just told me tonight that I'm his favorite white person ever. Did you not say that?
I did say that. But white people still suck. Anyways.
So I'm invited to the barbecue.
That's some white people shit. You're supposed to say you're invited to the carne asada.
I'm excited and invited to the carne asada.
Oh,
except
God.
I'm vegetarian and won't eat the carne asada. But anyways. Why are we on the same wavelength? Oh my God. Seriously, Matt, we're like our energies we're just on the same wavelength. We're just being fucking silly.
God. It's probably because Pluto's on Uranus.
Do you believe in astrology? Do you believe in the...
I sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm like, when my friends are talking about it, I was like, wait, that makes so much sense. And then other times I'm like, this is like some Harry Potter shit where I'm in a house and you're supposed to be a certain way. Like, if I was in Slytherin, I'd be a dick. If I was in Gryffindor, I'd probably be like, a rebellious bitch. And then if I was in like Ravenclaw, I was like somewhere neutral.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. You don't believe in it? No, because I've met...
It's not that every time people bring it up, I take it very lightheartedly.
Yeah.
And I just take it for what it is. Like, I let people do their thing and respect it and just like don't really participate or... I to be honest, like, I just don't believe in it.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in it.
That's fair.
That's just me, but...
I had a friend that... literally wanted nothing to do with another friend of mine because of his sign. He said, "Oh, you're a Taurus. Like, I want nothing to do with you." And, you know, honestly, I could have felt the same way about him because he was a Leo. And honestly, the Leos are, like, sometimes the most difficult people to get along with, honestly.
Who?
The Leos. If you're a fucking Leo, oh, you're a Leo, huh? Okay, well, you're the only Leo I've ever actually met that's been, like, down, like, I don't want to say down to earth, but, like, level-headed. Because Leos generally are very hot-headed. I've never seen you very hot-headed. You seem very calm, cool, and collected, very meticulous. You know, you are very thorough and thought out before you react. That's just the vibe that I've always gotten from you.
I'm like that when I'm in public or with around people. I'm more like a sad boy. I'm more angry when I'm by myself.
But you don't bring that energy out.
I don't. I'm really kind. I'm very bubbly, and I'm like.
But that's not very Leo. Like, that's not Leo though. Leo makes it everyone else's problem.
I'm not.
Leo's like, I'm a fucking Leo. Hear me roar, and I'm gonna make that your problem.
I'm not like that. Really, I'm not like that. I'm a bitch. But you have to do some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
To bring it out of me.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's how I am as an Aries. I don't bring it out unless it's warranted, and when it does, it's like a fucking wrath.
Yeah, I mean that's something I've worked on over a course of many years. A lot of therapy. There are some people who've really ticked me off, and at least lately I've been taking it in for what it is, but I'm not gonna let it disrupt my peace anymore.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, things come and go, and so if it comes back, that feeling comes back, I think I'll know how to deal with it, but we're all human.
I think that we're all our individual selves, but sometimes I think it's easier to blame the stars and the alignment in the fucking universe for our own troubles that we're having. And it is, like you said, like, I think it is more of just kind of like a silly kind of almost juvenile like way to look at it sometimes. But I feel like there is something to it sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of people say like there's truth to it, and I kind of see it, and I don't necessarily like, believe in it, but I do see like some truth in a lot of this.
Yeah.
Whatever I see and whatever I hear, but I don't know. I respect it, and I really enjoy it, and I feel like sometimes I believe it, and then like at other times I don't, which is it's the weirdest thing for me. But
you know, while it is not easy to continue to put ourselves out there, but it is important to keep pushing along and chugging along and continuing to have an open heart and allowing the energy to flow. And as long as you're in a good headspace to where you are comfortable being, I guess, single or just comfortable with yourself, that's when things really do, I guess, show up, and just the energy that you weren't expecting really does come through.
Yeah, and like
that's what they all say, when you're least expected, that's when.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean,
at least I'm very content being single, but
I'm content being single too.
You have a lot going for you too. You've done a lot, and being content being single is very important because I would not want to rely on anybody else for my own happiness.
Yeah. I used to do that. So I feel that. And honestly, I love just being social. And when there are hot, attracted people who are in my social circle, I like will wait it out. I make sure they're in the green zone before.
What's the green zone? Like that they're single and available? Or what does that mean, green zone?
The green zone is someone who is in a stable place for
Ooh.
me.
That's smart, because all my men have been in the red zone. They've been fucking like
No.
down in the trenches.
It's also like just kindness. It's also social. Mentally comfortable with who they are, whether that's sexuality, whether that's, confidence. I really like look for that, and that's green zone. I also will say chemistry is there.
Yeah.
As a friend, but also something a little bit more. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's green zone for me.
That's so funny. That just shows like everyone's been in the fucking red zone, like genuinely.
Yeah, I've had a few good people here and there, but a lot of them are also in the red zone.
Yeah.
Or just like one night stands or hookups or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I'm 26. You're gonna be 26 in less than a month, or about a month, and there's still a lot to learn. I think we're not expected to have it all figured out right now, and honestly, I would say that out of all the people that I know, I think you and I both have really good heads on our shoulders, and we're moving in the right direction, and we both have a good sense of humor. We both have a positive outlook on the world, just ready to continue to keep an open heart and be open to the fun experiences. Because even if it doesn't, equate to something that's going to be romantic, like you never know what kind of people you're going to meet.
that's so true. I've met some good people. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like those people never stay in my life, but they're so chill, cool people, even for the time being. Even if it never goes anywhere. But
yeah. Well, by the next time we come back on this couch, one of us better have some like really good
I always have some
stories.
Good shit. I always have some good shit.
Well, I'm so happy that we were able to do this, and we'll come back and we will discuss who had the worst date experience, and I can put money on it that it was probably me. So
We'll see.